Hi, folks. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We are in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee today. When I was growing up, I spent my time, I always just say, in Middle Tennessee because we moved around a lot with my dad's job. In Lawrenceburg, I spent about 5 years of my life and will always be a very important part of it. Very fond memories here. I love walking down Main Street here on the square. So many of these buildings have been here for well over 100 years. One of the biggest things missing, though, is a huge courthouse that used to sit right about where you see that gazebo now. A courthouse that was nearly burned down by the Union Army, spared, only to be lost many decades later when the city could no longer afford its upkeep and opted for a brand new one in another part of town. But our true destination today is Mimosa Cemetery in Lawrenceburg. Its most famous grave is probably that of Fred Dalton Thompson. Fred Thompson, as many of you may remember him in Law and Order, The Hunt for Red October, maybe even those reverse mortgage commercials. But his final resting place is right here in Lawrenceburg. Of course, former presidential candidate, very successful lawyer, part of the Watergate team, which is what got him national recognition. It's said that Nixon said that Thompson idiot, and is Thompson going to play ball? Fred actually was the one that brought out in that cross-examination the fact that Nixon did all those tapes, that he taped everything that went out in the White House. A really stunning gravestone, and I look forward to doing a video just about Senator Thompson, but we'll have that for another day. Now, today we're actually here to tell a different story. But before we get to that, let's look around a bit more at Mimosa Cemetery. Fred Thompson actually has connections with both sides of my family, my wife's family and mine. My dad knew him as he grew up in Lawrenceburg, and he actually paid a visit to my wife's family's farm in his role as a lawyer. We're going to make our way up to the plot of the Kennedy family. As we make our way up here, we see there are two Kennedy stones, this larger one, and then the smaller one off to the side, and it's the smaller stone that we're going to focus on first, but we will come back to that larger Kennedy stone as well. This is the gravestone of John Booker Kennedy. He was the comptroller of Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, but he was also more infamously a member of the Confederate States forces, as most people around here were at the time. He was part of Tennessee's 3rd Infantry. His widow, Alice, would collect a pension on that service, as he was recognized as a veteran. All Confederate forces were. But that's not the most infamous thing. The most infamous thing that John Booker Kennedy did was serve as one of the members of the original Ku Klux Klan. He was one of the founding members in Pulaski, Tennessee, and we see him pictured here with that 3rd Tennessee Regimental flag not too many years before his death. And buried next to John and his wife Alice is their only son, Dr. Joseph McLean Kennedy. Dr. Kennedy only lived in his early 40s and was much beloved in the community. So as we make our way to the main focus of our video today, we're going to check out a few more interesting and unique graves here in the Mimosa Cemetery. Mimosa Cemetery is so unique because of the diversity of it. It was made because they were running out of room in Lawrenceburg in the existing cemetery. And for Mimosa, all you had to do is request a plot. That's it. Anyone could be buried here, any religion, any race, anybody. And that's why you have such an eclectic group of people represented throughout this cemetery. They do a really good job keeping the grounds clean here at Mimosa. It always looks nice anytime we've ever went past it. I actually went to daycare a short distance away from here. It's now part of a church, but it was called Tot Town when I went there. It can be said that faith plays a very important role in most people's lives. But one person in particular here in the Mimosa Cemetery went out of his way to make sure you knew it played no role in his. Captain W.J. Gilbreth. Concerning his view of religion, the plate here on his gravestone says that he made his life the best he could. No fear of gods, no love of Jesus, no thought of future punishment or reward controlled his acts. His mind was free from religious or other superstition. His sense of right and justice was the law he obeyed. As it was said long ago, the story of how Captain Gilbreth came to lose his religion in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, where a church stands on every corner, is a tragic tale of personal loss. Captain Gilbreth was one of many Lawrence County men who rushed to the colors when the Spanish-American War broke out in 1898. He was deployed to the Philippines with his regiment, leaving behind 2 young children and a pregnant wife. As the story goes, he prayed incessantly for his wife and unborn child while he was in war. Tragically, his wife lost the child, and when he found out about it, he lost his faith. Upon returning home, he filled his life with civic activity and community-mindedness. Local newspapers from the turn of the 20th century show that he attended and helped organize almost every important community function. He was an active proponent of the creation and advancement of Lawrence County High School, and he served in several community leadership positions. When he died in 1934, his large gravestone was placed at his grave with the bold pronouncement of his disdain for religion at the center, as well as 2 black and white photos, one of him and of his wife. But it's what supposedly happened to that stone that most people remember about him to this day. As legend has it, not long after he was buried, the skies turned dark and thunder began rumbling ferociously. But the storm that day supposedly produced only 1 bolt of lightning, which is said to have struck Gilbreth's tombstone with a mighty fury, forever scarring and marring his photograph. Whether the story of this lightning bolt striking the tombstone is true, or whether the damage to his photo is a result of vandalism, generations of the faithful have pointed to the legend as evidence that Gilbreth had angered God for openly flaunting him. Whether or not the legend is true, his tombstone is certainly an anomaly in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a great day.